Hello, everyone. I am Andra Annette, and this is Healing from the Inside Out. And I am here with my fabulous co-host, CJC Boyd. So I did something different today. I told CJ what we were going to be talking about because I didn't want to throw her for a big curveball with this. Um, but we're going to be talking about energy. And the reason why I want to talk about energy is because everything that happens in our body, in our universe, and all around us is based on energy. But on even deeper level, we have like 200 different kinds of cells in our body, and everything happens in our body on a cellular level. So, because of the environment, okay, which is something you advocate really strongly for, right? And the food and the water, which I'm always advocating for, the food, the water, the environment, all these things impact that cellular level. And we're seeing numbers that are like astronomical in disease with hypertension, autoimmune, and metabolic dysfunction. And it is all metabolic dysfunction. And I deal with metabolism. so, um, like the mitochondria in the cell, it breaks down the food, the usual food and stuff that we take in, the food, the water, and the environment. Those three things are um instrumental in how our body converts those things to usable energy, which, if you ever took biology, is ATP, right? So, and there's seven different ways that's used in our body at every level to have active life and really live in a vital way. And because of what's happened, the degradation in the environment, and we're not making food the way we used to. It's all processed and stuff like that. And the environment, the air that we're breathing, all of these things are having a really bad effect on us as human beings. And if we don't start to shift that energy with taking in good food, taking in good water, being outside in the sunlight, we're in for a lot of trouble because, people are seeing it as heart disease, and it depends on where in the body, in what kinds of cell, because there's 200 different kinds, to what you might present with first. But if you are presenting with digestive issues, or you're showing up with some kind of autoimmune disease, then there's lots of different cells that are acting at less than full capacity, which starts to affect all the systems, the organs, the tissues, and the body breaks down. So if we can help ourselves on a cellular level and bring back some of that more positive energy through better food, better water, and being outdoors in the sunlight in better environments, right? And environments, people too, staying away from that toxic, then it's going to change the face of healthcare. Healthcare is really about, it's a $1 billion industry. It's not concerned with curative. It's really more economically based, where symptom management. So they're not looking into the causes of the inflammation that are happening on the cellular level and rampant throughout the body. They're doing surgeries and all these things, and that inflammatory process is going to come back. And that's going to have all these rampant diseases, right? You're just smacking a Band-Aid on it. So I'm interested to hear your input on this because you're a big advocate for environment. So what do you feel in this aspect?
I feel like our body is literally, I've heard people say your body is your temple, take care of it. And it never really landed for me until I had my own health scare earlier this year. And it's like, we don't realize, how important our body is. We only get one body. And I just remember in the back of my head having my mom say, "You're going to regret doing that when you get older. You should take care of your body, yada, yada, yada." And I was like, I'm 20 years old. I'm perfect health. I got this. And it's really hitting me now as you were talking, like everything that we think in our mind, we create things in our body. And I remember when I initially took my mom to the doctor, she was having issues and they're like, "Oh, it's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind." And I was like, it's not in her mind. She's feeling the pain. But now I'm making the connection. It started in her mind. She was negative. She was angry. She was mad. She was harboring all these things, and she had no outlet in which to get them out of her body. And so they presented in her body in the form of an ulcer. And then the anger kept going and going because she kept getting mad. Like, why aren't the doctors fixing it? Why aren't they fixing me? Why am I in so much pain? And she ended up having a massive heart attack and giving 1% chance to live. That anger manifested itself in her heart, and that's what caused the heart attack. And so I am a huge advocate for what you put in your body. And for me, it's the mindset, it's going out in the earthing, the grounding, ways to get out of your head and into the earth kind of thing. And I'm so, my mission includes, helping women and men understand that you create a lot of the stuff that you're feeling in your body, but you also have that powerful decision, that choice to be able to change that and give your body what it needs to be in that optimal health. And so I think this is an amazing topic. I'm glad it's landing in a really good time right now because there's so much going on out there. I mean, chronic diseases, almost every single person that I talk to during a day, they're like, I have this anti-inflammatory or I have this chronic, inflammation or this chronic disease and I don't know what's causing it. And the doctors aren't telling me, they're just telling me, here's a prescription, here's a prescription, here's a prescription. And I've talked to so many nurses and they're like, it's sick care. It's not really, they don't even like dive deep into it. And I just wonder, is it because they don't know enough? I mean, I know nurses and doctors study the body, but is it just there's more money in not getting to the root cause? Or,
It's
I know I'm
not.
going to ruffle some feathers.
No, it's no, no, because they're taught wrong. They're taught to study and to um kind of niche down. Like doctors when they go to school, they're not they're taught the whole body, but then they're taught to specialize in one specific area. So I say this all the time. If you're only focused on that one area, you're not seeing the interconnectedness and how every cell, every nerve, every tissue, they all connect because you're so micro focused and you can't be. So you do need to go back to the very beginning of your schooling and look at what we started in the cell because everything starts with that cell, right?
Right,
And that energy is impacting it. But the bad energy, so there's good energy and bad energy, but the bad energy affects the mind. So it's hard to think with clarity if you have all this stuff going on in your body because it's hard to be positive when you feel like crap, right? So that that does play into that mindset, right? Because certainly my thought processes are very different and more clear coming from a place of wellness than they were when I was in that sickness. And I had the health background. But when you feel like crap and you're waking up every day feeling like hell, it's hard to say, oh, everything's coming to me now. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it does impact our mindset. And then we have all the perceptions of people over a course of years, I went back and I was reading Shad Helmstetter, the things we say when we talk, what to say when we talk to ourselves. And I love that guy. And I read his book like every year without fail because it kind of reboots my mind because it reminds me that we have the opportunity to recode what people tell us on a day to day. You know, so people can say very negative things to you, and you could still say, I love, honor, and accept myself the way I am. Thank you for your beliefs, but I'm not taking them with me. You can make that decision to leave them there, So, but over the course of our lives, there's so many of them to unravel. So people talk about the law of attraction, but they're really misreading it. It's not, you don't just call abundance and it comes running. You have to be on that energy level where abundance is, and that's a very high level. So that requires a high spiritual connection. It's not just about speaking these things
right.
repeatedly out there. You have to connect to your infinite intelligence, which is who we are as people. You know, we're in a physical body, but we weren't meant to be. So we do have to get back into that spirit to live at that high level. And a lot of people don't get that, right? So, um,
I think a lot of people feel that that spirit is something that they're that's up there, out there, that they're seeking to be get guidance from. When in reality, we were all created with that inside of us, and we need to dig deep inside of us to connect to that spirit. I think a lot of people miss that.
well, that a lot of people don't understand, like what you just said, that that spirit is part of us.
Yeah,
It was birthed into us, right? So,
we're all one
uh,
energy,
yeah,
every single
so
one of us. Yeah,
we're all connected. So, a lot of people don't understand the importance of building community or helping people just for the sake of helping them without accepting or needing to get something back.
that's
But
a whole nother show.
yeah, it is. But we're only as rich as the people that we help, because that is our way to that spirit. That's how we connect. We're connected through that spirit to each other, right? So it is about lifting each other up. So you have so many communities out there saying they're supporting women and they really don't, and they're kind of pushing that law of attraction away. They're kind of pushing that away because you can't be in that negative space and that positive space at the same time. So lately I've been really dialing back. You know, I hear a lot of negativity in my day to day. As a nurse, we always do, right? So I keep myself in a very safe zone. If someone's talking negative, I just walk away and they're like, where did Andra go? I'm just gone. I'm like,
Yeah,
I refuse to hear any negative. Only positive things are allowed to cross my path at this point, you know, and
yeah,
and I'm looking for only the positive in every situation. There might be negative, but I'm going to find the positive in every situation that I encounter, right? So,
awesome.
and I've made up my mind to just do that. Today I did this crazy little prayer with God that I'm letting go of all the people in my life who said can't, won't, you know, all of that stuff. I'm releasing them back to the universe. Please take them and do with them as you will, because they have no place here, right? So I released any bad energy that those people have sent me over the course of your life. Because if you listen to Chad Helmstetter, and this is where this good energy really comes in, he talks about that emotional energy shifting as young as infancy, right? Where we are taught from between the ages of 0 and 18, we are taught no at least 140,000 times. And that's if you live in a good household with good family. And that's not even counting the people that, have hard family lives, right? So when you think about hearing no so much, it's very hard to finish that with a positive thought, right? So I'm really getting into that, back into that cellular level, because I'm very appalled at what's going on in healthcare. I'm very appalled at how that's impacting people on an emotional level, and how it has a lot of people believing they can't achieve the life that they want, right? So I said on a show I did recently that people really can heal themselves. And I said, I know that doesn't sound good coming from someone who's supposed to help them. I said, probably not going to make any money on this show. But I have to be honest, and people do have that. And I believe the more power you give them back, the more you reflect back. I believe that everything you put out there in this world mirrors back to you. I really believe that we are reflections of the life we put out there. And sometimes when you look in that mirror, it's not looking so good. And that's that time to do that inner work and refocus. So that's what I'm doing in my own personal life. I'm doing that refocus. I do this annually, because if you could look at some of the things I have to let go on an annual basis, you would say, girl, you need to do it every 6 months, because I do deal with so many people. I work with the public, right? So a lot of that stuff you think that you're not taking with you, but you are. right? So I do a body scan every morning on the train. I'm not sitting there doing the breathing, and stuff like that. People don't know what I'm doing, but you can do that mental body scan and see where you're holding all that negative energy and try to let some of it go.
I think it's really important too, as being around people that are in the healthcare, like they don't teach you that in schooling to be like, okay, you need to let go of this and how this all affects you. There's no decompression. There's no, um, like my daughter was worked as EMT before she left for PA school, and it's like you need a zone to be able to decompress. You need to like talk that through. If you've been on a really horrific call, you need to somehow decompress that and like release it so that you don't take that with you. And I've met so many people. I have a lot of people in my family who are paramedics, EMTs, firefighters, and it's like they have all these calls that they've been on, and it's been detrimental to them, and that's coded them in some way, and they don't know how to release that and get rid of it. And I think that's an integral part of being in the field where you're serving people and you're dealing with people's lives, that you should have a space in which to be able to let that go. And I think it's very important. I think it's kind of, I'm talking to my daughter, she's going to PA school. She said, Mom, it's just weird because it's like I'm hearing your voice in my head because they're like, you guys need to meditate, you need to decompress, you need to do some form of meditation and get out of everything that you're learning and everything that you're seeing at least a minimum of 10 minutes a day. She goes, and I'm just thinking, that's so weird. It's like my mom's been telling me this forever. And now I have this, you know, prestigious professor telling me you need to meditate. She goes, it's just so weird. But I think, you know, it's up to us to change the paradigm of people thinking, oh, just deal with it, lock it up in a little box and move on because that's just how life is. No, it's we need to be in control and take care of how our energy is so that we're putting our good energy back into the world because like you said, we're a mirror reflection of everybody. If I walk by somebody on the street and I trip and I fall and that person laughs, that's going to affect me. If I'm walking down the street and I see a person and they look like they're on the verge of tears, I'm going to go, hey, everything okay? My kids, when they were younger, I would smile at everybody. I'd be like, hey, have a great day, or I'd hold the door, or I'd, help people with groceries. And my kids were like, why do you do that? I'm like, it's because it's the right thing. And that's how I want to be treated. So I'm going to put that out into the world as well. And I think we have a big duty and responsibility to self-reflect and be sure that we're putting our best foot forward, but knowing that we're doing so because it's going to impact every single person that comes into contact with us on a daily basis.
Agreed. But everything that we hold on to causes disease in the body. So it impacts us on another way. So when I was in nursing school, there was a teacher that still had tears in her eyes 30 years later after she told the story. Um, and I went over to her after and said, you need to let it go. I said, I could feel your pain like it was just happening. And in that whole group of teachers we had, it was the most amazing women, all women teachers. They did impart on us that we need to let it go. We had this one teacher that would eat 9 almonds every day, I think it was. Right. And I said, what's gonna happen when you realize that it might be 11 you needed? How are you gonna feel all these years? We used to tease her. But they imparted all that stuff on us because a lot of people in nursing school gain weight because the what you need to put in takes a lot of time and you're not eating the way you should be, right? So everybody's at the vending machines and stuff like that. So they made us take care of ourselves even then, they tell us walk like nurses. Come on, you're nurses, walk like nurses. And so which is very fast walking, right? So to this day I still walk like that and like I'm just breezing by people. But you do taking care of yourself is center empowerment to everything else in our lives, and coming back to selves and taking time just to listen to your own breath, feel your heartbeat, and be reminded of the incredible body that you're living in is something that we should all be doing every day. And we've gotten very away from seeing this as our power, and we always continue to look outside ourselves, and the more we look outside of ourselves, the further we'll get away from health and happiness because they go together, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. I think it's, for me, every single morning when I wake up, before I even open my eyes, I always do oh, wow, thinking about the fact that I got chose to wake up this morning. There's lots of people who took their last breaths last night when they lay down in bed, and I got to wake up and I run the scan through my body, and I'm grateful for every organ. I probably don't remember all of them like you do being a nurse, but go through every organ and just, the fact that they all work together as this intricate machine that I don't have to think about. My brain is, healthy and strong and it tells my body what to do. And it really makes me remember just how precious this skin suit is and that I need to take care of it. And when I started doing that, it's really changed the game for me. Like most of the time people don't worry about being happy about their body or being grateful for the body that they have until they're sick and they're facing, a terminal illness or a bad diagnosis. And I think if we come back to that every single day and we realize just what this body gives to us, we need to give back to it in a way that is totally just, living in the right way, knowing that we are the ones who get to create everything and we get to see our body perform for us on the level that we've never thought possible because we have that power just by being in tune with our entire body and every cell and all the energy.
I agree. We are going to leave it on that note because I see all these people passing by my office. Like, what is that girl doing? Is she not done yet? Waiting to come in. But what I did want to say to you as CJ and I leave you is really guard your energy. Your mood, your behavior, the environment you're in, these things are all toxic, not just what we're planting, but the seeds that you are planting for your future too. You get to decide what you take with you into every day, what you let go of, what you put and ingest in your body, and what you don't. So that is going to make the difference between how you live 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So if you're starting to feel those little twinges of pain and or you have heart disease or autoimmune diseases, that's telling you that something's very out of balance in your body. So start focusing on that with better diet, better water, better environment, and surround yourself with people who love you. That's enough from us for today. Have a great day.